It's incredible how attached one can become to their chickens. Raising them from tiny chicks, locking them up safe at night, collecting eggs, it builds a surprisingly loving relationship. Most people who keep backyard chickens are familiar with their common predators: raccoons, foxes, bobcats, owls, dogs, coyotes. But some of the hardest to protect flocks against are hawks. Uniquely amongst these predators, hawks attack during the day, leaving free-ranging flocks particularly vulnerable. A hawk eventually attacked one of my hens. You can see all of her missing feathers. I found a pile of her feathers on the ground, and nearby found what saved her. My rooster went to protect her and ended up sacrificing himself, leaving this puff of white feathers. Talking with other chicken owners, everyone defaults to shoot the hawks out of the sky. To be honest, I looked into the legality of lethal removal myself. Hawks are federally protected under the Federal Migratory Bird Treaty Act, and exemptions from this are difficult to get and short-lived. I knew I needed to protect my flock, so I began doing research. The first few solutions were all animal-based, which I loved, so just as my first rooster sacrificed himself to protect his hens, so would any other rooster. It's what they do. So I got another. Roosters are natural protectors and are much better at keeping an eye out while the hens are busy foraging. If the hens still end up in danger, roosters are willing to fight to the death to protect their flock. Another idea that sounds silly at first is to always keep a black chicken in the group, and hawks might mistake this black chicken for a crow, and they wish to avoid crows. I already had a little black chicken, so this was easy. As far as other pets go, dogs are excellent deterrents for hawks. Having a dog around the flock is one of the top ways to deter raptor predation. I went to visit a neighboring chicken protecting dog, and she does a very good job. Not everyone can go out and buy new pets all the time, though. Luckily, there are many other methods to deter raptors, and one common way is to hang reflective material throughout the chicken yard. The reflections startle the hawks and make them too uncomfortable to land in the area. These things can range from reflective tape or rolled CDs to decorative spinners like the ones I have here. This second one that I'm hanging even has a little owl on it as a little added hint to the hawks to stay away. There's something else that will make the hawks uncomfortable with the yard. Yeah, coyotes. I found some coyote decoys to place around the yard in hopes of scaring the hawks away. This method takes a bit more maintenance than the others, as the decoys, which you could use scarecrows or any other decoys, but they must be moved around regularly to keep the hawks from getting used to them being there and getting accustomed to their presence. Luckily, the chickens don't seem too bothered by these coyotes hanging around in the yard with them all the time. Especially useful around dusk is this big spotlight. It's probably more effective for preventing owl predation, but it certainly doesn't hurt for the hawks either. Probably my favorite way of protecting my flock is by giving them the tools to help themselves. With an observant rooster around, the hens will try to make their way to cover in the event of a hawk attack. At first, they only had access to these trees and bushes on either end of the fence, so I decided to cut a hole in the middle to ensure they had a quick escape from anywhere in the yard. While some of the chickens figured it out right away, some took a little while longer, but they all figured it out eventually, and they use this little pathway pretty regularly now. Removing vulnerable areas for the hawks to target was the last step I took in my modifications. Ensuring the chickens' food and water were in a safe location that was inaccessible to raptors would remove this high-risk spot and reduce the stress on the chickens as well. Of course, providing a coop that is predator-proof, including a reliable roof, is the most effective way of keeping chickens safe. And then keeping the door open throughout the day meant that the flock could retreat to this coop safety at any point that they might need. It is possible for chickens, chicken owners, and hawks to all coexist peacefully. Taking all reasonable steps to keep the flock protected can leave someone feeling confident and happy to simply enjoy the raptor wildlife in their area without too much fear for their pet's well-being. Many of the methods discussed have been proven to be effective and can be utilized to ensure happy human-hawk relations.